That felt like... Welcome back to Disc and Ball's Golf Channel. It's Vlogmas Day 21. This was originally going to be... I don't know why I went Italian right there. This was originally going to be a video about standstill backhands, or just standstill backhand only, because I was trying to figure out how to generate power. But then I was realizing the other day during some field work that an abbreviated run up, or like, you know, a shorter distance where I had to like keep the same tempo but work with less space was actually, I think, better for actual timing. So I'm going to do that. I was also tinkering with grip. Trash Panda Disc Golf had like a thing about like forehands, grip hard. Backhands, I think I'm getting diminishing returns. It could just be all in my head. That's why I'm going to record this and see. I forgot my hat, so I'm like looking directly into this squinty ass sun. It's pretty terrible. But I'm just going to throw in an assortment of things downwind, see what works best. Hopefully my camera doesn't blow over too many times. I got my backpack there to hopefully catch it and avoid having my microphone get dinged again like it has in the past. So, but yeah, at first I'm just going to do the full run up. We'll compare the releases and stuff with a sort of a lighter grip, seeing how lightly I can grip it while still kind of, for me, the tight grip was keeping my arm from really getting that whip action. It was tense, and it wasn't getting the follow through and the besides the whip action, there's a better word for it. I don't know, I'll figure it out at some point. But it wasn't staying loose through the whole throw. And so my whole plan was, okay, loosen the grip, keep the arm loose, and get it to whip through. See if that helps at all. Then I'll also do the abbreviated run up and see if I'm really trying to get power out of it. Like, if I'm able to get the same distances with the shorter run up, that means I'm wasting energy on my other run up, and I need to dial in. I'm losing, you know, I'd be losing momentum or losing potential energy, kinetic energy or whatever at that point. So, I'm just gonna set up here. We're gonna get started. I just have an assortment of drivers. It should be fun. So overthrow was talking about finding that whip, or the whip point. I started doing a 3-finger grip instead of the 4 because I feel like 4 kind of locks my arm in. So we're gonna try 3-finger. We'll try the full run up and see what it looks like. Sidewinder. Better plant. Gotta loosen up the hand. Enigma I don't think is gonna work downwind, but best throw so far, so that's not bad. I'd love to watch that slow-mo. Well, I'm here to tell you slow-mo is not great. So I noticed that like the disc is not on plane. Watch right here. Reach back. It's over here. The pull through. It's like I'm almost throwing it like I'm fanning at it. And that's just not an actionable angle for success, really. So, yikes. Aftermath. This should be interesting. Most likely to flip over in a tailwind. Didn't feel like it came out with as much pop as the Enigma. Oh, river. I love the river. Anti-release, as soon as it got onto the hyzer side, the wind just slapped its punk ass down. I feel like I'm falling away. So this one actually didn't look bad in slow-mo. The run-up's still fast. I still have the issue of having the disc at a super weird angle as it crosses my left shoulder. But as it gets to the midsection, it is a much flatter line, much more parallel to the ground. I think this one came out pretty good. Follow through decent, but yeah, just having that square to the ground seemed to make a pretty decent difference in the overall distance. Sidewinder, different sidewinder, heavier. Ah, it's so bad. Nose up, way early. So this photon's pretty brand new. There's no chance of it turning over in the wind, especially when I release it very nose up like I have been doing. So that's my biggest issue, is even when I throw it parallel to the ground, it's very nose up. Same thing with this getaway, pretty bad form. That was a getaway, that flew pretty well. Still trying to kind of find something to replace that ballista that I lost. I'm not planting, and so my shoulders are never getting through, I think. If I had to guess what's happening there, that's what I would say. Because when my shoulders get back to horizontal to the ground, I think that's when it's working. Kind of okay for the Valkyrie. That actually slapped my left shoulder. I kept my hand looser, tightening it right as I got through. Didn't quite work. That actually felt good. It was a strike though, so. So at this point I can see exactly where my stuff is not working, the biggest issue. So we'll skip to the best throw I had with the full run up, which is a DD3 actually, which you'd think the understable would be better downwind, but here it is. I felt like there was good lag on that one. That was the DD3 and it might be the longest of them. So at this point I'm convinced I can throw 300 feet in spite of myself rather than because of myself. So right here, again, look at this by my left ear. Just, there's no way to get that back on plane in the 0.08 seconds. The release comes out a little nose up, but it kind of flattens out for some reason. I'm not sure if that's from supination of my wrist, but that's not an optimal throw at all. It's really fucking annoying. Well, there's nothing else to be learned from the full run-up. Let's take a look at the abbreviated run-up. So interestingly, the DD3 went the farthest. I'll have to look at that one in particular. That one was definitely less nosed up. At the back of my car, which is close enough, 316, 317. That's solid 20 to 30 feet better than I used to be able to do downwind. And I think that was just planting properly and getting those shoulders square with the ground, I think. Let's try the abbreviated walk up and see how the distance compares. Okay, so the idea is to try and give myself like half as much space. So instead of starting back here, running up, force myself to start about here, and go 1, 2, 3, 4, and hopefully plant well, and get some information out of it. So that feels like it's coming out of my hand better, instead of being like whatever the hell I'm doing with the. So this one actually felt a lot better, and despite having kind of a, what I thought was a weird feeling run up, the plant was decent, and the nose angle came out just so much better, and I think that has to do with less movement in my right arm. I'm not bringing it up as much, I'm not bringing it to a weird angle. These ones seem to be coming across at shoulder level, which is a much more natural angle than what I was trying to do with the long run up. That felt weird, that felt like... Hey, fuck you, right? Oh, now you want to go downwind. Yeah. That was a really good rip. Like, wow. It came out clean, it came out online. I think I'm getting a more efficient action out of it. It seems to be coming out like coming out clean. Like, it's not wobbling, it's not like, I don't know, it's weird to describe. I'm definitely interested in seeing the slow-mo frame by frame. See, that was a rip. Huh. What's the difference? It's working. Like, everything's coming out. It's trying to stand up a little compared to whatever it was doing. So overall, yeah, the reason it's coming out cleaner is it's getting up toward my left ear less. It's staying along the shoulder line, and I think that means it doesn't have to make up that angle, that weird flappy whatever angle that I had looking at it before. And because it doesn't have to fight through that angle, I think it's coming out cleaner, and it's fighting the air less out of my hand, and so I think that's contributing a bit. But it's still sloppy, and now that I know where I'm screwing up, I think I can correct that. I'm gonna, oh, bye Mamba. So now that I know what's going wrong, let's skip to the end. One thing I will notice, ignore these guys, but the spread is way tighter. That's a lot better grouping than my last one. So, I mean, just accuracy-wise, that's dramatically better. So at first I wasn't sure if it was Underworld, purple Sidewinder, and then I noticed I got my Wraith back here. That Wraith went pretty good. I'm gonna have to rewatch that, rewatch the flight and the release, but that was pretty damn solid. 306. So, I'm gonna check one other thing really quick. No! Fuck! Oh. So the outro video didn't record properly on account of my phone and microphone being bashed against the ground repeatedly by the wind. But basically the difference between the two throws for all the flourish of the long run-up was only 10 feet. It was 316 to 306, 316, 317 to 306, 307, you know, depending on how far forward I leaned while getting the distance measurement. So tons of wasted energy in the long run-up. I did notice a wider spread because having the disc way up by my ear trying to really crank it was actually leading to more inefficiencies than the shorter run-up. And oh man, freaking camera's getting knocked around right there. Anyway, so yeah, it's basically I'm gonna have to figure out, get that nose angle down, get that disc flat as I'm pulling across my body, because it is really nowhere near flat. And yeah, I think if I can do those two things, that should lead to better throws. But I'm gonna have to tinker with it. So yeah, more more delightful fancy footwork. Anyway, rather than having you look at more terrible form, that'll be it for today. As always, thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you on the course.